Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Katie, your host of Popping the Popcorn, and today I have a very special guest, two of my good friends. I have Keith and I have Kerwin from a father and son Star Wars podcast. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're great. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy to be here with you guys. So, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
So, what made you guys want to start your father and son podcast?
That's a good question, actually. Well, Keith and I love talking about Star Wars. I mean, he's been watching Star Wars since he was 4 years old. And, we sit down at the dinner table very often and we just talk Star Wars. And one day, my wife Tanya had the idea of actually recording us talking about Star Wars. And, she said, look, I mean, you guys, what she did was she took that recording and uploaded it to Facebook, and people were interested. And Tanya said, well, look, people are interested in what you have to say. This is important what you're doing, a father and son Star Wars podcast. And I said, yeah, well, let me think about it. And then one day, I came home and I realized that my wife had bought an entire podcast set with microphones and everything, and it was all set up. And I came in, I saw the setup, and I said, "Oh, I guess we're going to be hosting a podcast then."
That's really
so, yeah. So
cool.
that's it. That's our story.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I got into podcasting through I have a bunch of friends that do podcasts, and I was like, I want to start my own. I like movies and shows and
Yes.
all the different fandoms as well. So I was like, why not? And Star Wars, I'm a huge Star Wars fan as well.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so I thought.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm a fan of a lot of podcasts, and I always say to myself, well, this seems like fun. This is something I can do, but I didn't really think that I would actually go about creating a podcast. But I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, and I love the community and the people that have seen our episodes, and the feedback that we're getting is really great, very encouraging. So.
Well, I'm glad. And you guys are one of my favorite podcasts. I listen to you guys every week. I watch you on my TV on YouTube every week. And one of my favorite episodes was when you guys were doing the food from all the different places.
That was my favorite.
That's Keith's idea.
Yeah, I organized the entire thing.
Yeah, and he wrote.
Me and my mom.
Yeah, and he wrote the entire script, and he went over all the foods that he wanted to serve. So yeah, that's all Keith's idea.
That's awesome. And then I also liked the last episode y'all did of the Bad Batch. I like that episode as well.
Yeah, Bad Batch 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just watched that one 2 nights ago. I just
Uh-huh.
watched that one and it was really good.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
So, what are your favorite characters? Do you guys have favorite characters in the Star Wars universe?
Start.
Ahsoka, Luke, Speed, I don't think right now.
Okay. Well, so Ahsoka, we know, is your favorite character, right? Because you have her novel. And how many times have you read Ahsoka's novel?
We don't have 3 hours.
Yeah, you read it a lot, right? He's oh man, I can't even tell you how many times he's read it, but he loves Ahsoka. So I would say Ahsoka's his favorite character. Yeah.
Who's your favorite character, Kerwin?
Darth Vader. Vader. Yeah.
He's
They're Boba Fett, right?
No, not quite Boba Fett, but definitely Darth Vader. Since the original trilogy, he's always been a favorite. I just loved his look, his voice, his presence. He was just he was just the opponent that you didn't want to face. And I can if I think about what Luke went through to try to face face Vader before he even knew Vader was his father. That's just very intimidating. He's a very intimidating figure. So, and I think he's one of the best villains ever created.
I think so too. My favorite character is Ahsoka because I think there should be more like lead female like characters in the Star Wars universe besides Leia and Rey, and she's more of a warrior versus like Rey and Leia. Leia, I mean, she's a warrior too, but she's more of like a senator type of thing, and so is Queen Amidala or Padme, whatever you want to call her. She's the same way. So I just like how Ahsoka is just a Jedi, and she just takes the reins, and she doesn't really care what other people think of her. That's why I like her.
That's very nice. Yeah. Keith is a fan of the women of the. There was a book called Women of the Galaxy that we picked up from the library. He loves the women in Star Wars. He's always studying them, and like I said, Ahsoka is his favorite. So yeah, we're in agreement with you.
Yeah, I like all the female character leads, because even me as a young female, we all should have female power towards each other. I mean, like, there's also really good male leads, like you said, Darth Vader. Anakin, he's one of the best. I like him too. It's between Ahsoka and Darth Vader for me. Those are the two that I like.
Got it.
As well. So, so here goes another question for you.
Sure.
Why do you think Star Wars is a huge part of the history of filming?
Ooh, wow, that's a good question. When it came out in '77, I was around in '77.
I wasn't yet.
No, I figured that. So, but I was around in '77, and it was just I didn't see my first Star Wars movie until 1980, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, I was born 6 years before. I was born 6 years after that, so I was born in 1986.
Got it. Right, yeah. And it was when we saw it, when it came out in the theaters, it was a phenomenon. That's all people talked about. It was something that was revolutionary. Those type of characters and special effects at the time. It was incredible. And to me, it's a fairy tale. Like, it's one of those fairy tales that you read throughout many generations. It's not going to go away. There's characters that are indelible. They're going to stay with you forever. The stories are about good versus evil. Those kind of stories. They never go out of style. So Star Wars is going to be around for a very long time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also like how I like how it's influential I can't talk.
Yes.
Influential franchise, because everybody can relate to each of the characters, and how it's something we never seen before. And the whole, like, back in 1970 when it first came out in the 70s, how nothing of this kind has ever come out before.
True. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And I just think when George Lucas made the film, I think he wanted it to be something different that the whole family can enjoy.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And at that time, Hollywood wasn't making those kind of movies for families to go see, and it wasn't until, George Lucas came up with Star Wars and said this was for children. It is, and I'm so glad, because, that's something I can pass down, I pass down to my son, and maybe Keith will pass it down to his family. We don't know, but
right.
I'm just very, very proud to say that I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm just proud that my son is as well. It wasn't a requirement, but I absolutely love the idea of him loving Star Wars as much as I do.
That's good, and it's good thing that y'all do it together, as a family, and talk about it. Yes. And I heard, Keith, you like Legos too.
They're awesome. It's like I have them right here. I built myself a new construction set.
That's really cool. I built the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, how about that? Wow.
The $800 one, or like the $100 one?
The $800 one.
The 2017 Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon.
Yes, I built that one.
I don't Han Solo and Rey and Finn and Minoc and BB-8.
Yep, I have that one, and I also have the original Millennium Falcon too.
The one from 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And how many pieces are in the one from '99? How many pieces are there?
I don't remember, because it's like glued up in the other room. Yeah. I don't exactly remember.
Do you still have it together, or did you have?
Yes.
Wow.
I glued it together, actually.
Nice. That's nice.
I don't glue my Legos.
Yeah,
I always take them apart at some point.
Mm-hmm. And just make something else out of it, right?
Hey, that's okay. You can always make something else out of it. That's the fun of it,
Yeah, I built like this little compound, I guess, for my Lego minifigures.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, do whatever you want with it. Let your imagination go wild with the Legos.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight's episode, we will be going through each of our favorite scenes from the original Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So what I like in the first one, which is A New Hope, I like the scene when Luke first meets Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're in like where the sand people are, and he's trying to help him get away from the sand people.
Right.
I like that part. That's one of my favorite parts because it's how they first met, and he's like, I know your father, who your father is, and Luke is living with his aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite scenes in A New Hope. What is your favorite scene, Kerwin?
Okay. All right. So I know we said we were going to choose our top 5. So I'll start with number 5. It's also from A New Hope. It is the scene where Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, and the droids are trying to escape the Death Star and heading to the Millennium Falcon. And Luke stops and he sees Vader and Obi-Wan in a battle. And, Obi-Wan looks at Luke, and then, we know what happened there when, Obi-Wan becomes one with the Force, and Darth Vader strikes that final blow, and you just see Obi-Wan's cloak fall to the floor, and Luke just yells out, "No!" And everybody's shooting, and it was all confusing, and Luke hears a voice in his head, "Run, Luke, run!" And he runs onto the Falcon, and they take off, and the tractor beam is down at the time, so they're able to just escape. But continuing on with that, Luke didn't really have time to even grieve Obi-Wan because they were being chased by TIE fighters, and then the TIE fighter attack follows after that, which I thought was awesome. Like the visual effects and the music that's happening, it just looks like a video game back in the day in '77. And I just love that moment for me.
Yeah, it's a great scene. I like that one. That's one of my favorite scenes as well, but it's not my top 5. But I like that scene. It's a good scene. What about you, Keith? What scene do you like?
5.
So my number 5 would have to be the fight scene between Luke and Vader from Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mine is the only one that isn't from A New Hope.
Right.
Mine is the only one that isn't from A New Hope.
So you don't have A New Hope on your list at all?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
That's a cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so
the
Luke,
colors, the sound effects. It was great, actually.
Yeah, you really like it?
Especially the action part. I love action.
I do too. I'm with you there, bud. I like action too. Another one of my favorite scenes, this is also from A New Hope, is when they first meet Chewbacca and Han Solo and Mos Leslie's cantina on Tatooine, and the bartender goes to the droids, "I don't serve your kind here," and I thought that was so funny. It just cracks me up. It's one of my favorite scenes, and then they have to get out, and then they're talking to Han Solo, and I just like that scene. It's just one of my favorite scenes.
That's a good one. That's a good one. A New Hope, yeah, the cantina scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now it's my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so number 4 is from The Empire Strikes Back, and I call this R2-D2 to the rescue. So this is when they're on Cloud City, and they're trying to escape Cloud City, and they're heading to the hangar, where the Millennium Falcon is. They're trying to get on the Falcon and try to take off and look for Han. And R2's performance was just fantastic because, they needed him to get the door open. No one else could get the door open. C-3PO didn't believe he can get the door open, and once the door is open, and all of a sudden C-3PO, "Oh, wonderful!" And then,
yes,
and then they run to the Falcon, and the last thing that R2 does to give them more time to escape is he drops smoke. He drops a smoke signal or a smoke stack or smoke bombs so that the stormtroopers wouldn't be able to find them, and yeah, so it gave them enough time to get away. So I thought that was pretty cool when he dropped the smoke, and by the time the smoke cleared, they're already taken off. And just continue with that, as far as what R2D2 is saving the day. They were trying to get the hyperdrive on the Falcon to work, and no one knew how to fix it except for R2. When he finally fixed it, if you ever look at that scene again, when he turns on the hyperdrive and the Falcon shoots into hyperspace, if you hear the music goes ta-da, as if it's like a magic trick that R2 just made the Millennium Falcon disappear. I just love that. So that's
a great scene. That's another one of my favorite scenes as well. It's just so iconic, that scene. And for everybody listening at home, you should go back and watch that scene as well.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite scene, Keith?
Number 4.
Next would be that scene where Luca and Leia swing across the Death Star.
The chasm. Yes.
Yep.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, Keith. Explain more about that scene. What's happening in the scene? So that was when they were trying to escape, right? And they got to a point where there was no
walkway,
or there was no entranceway that they could walk. So they had to figure out how they're going to get to the other side, right? They blasted the doors, and then all of a sudden the stormtroopers started shooting, and they needed to get away. They were right behind them. The doors were opening behind them. The stormtroopers were trying to get there, and Luke took out his grappling hook, and he hooked onto something, and they Leia gave him a kiss for luck, and then they swung over to the other side. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a great scene.
Yeah,
it's one of those scenes that everybody can enjoy, and the whole Star Wars universe. It's one of those scenes like everybody is just like, oh wow, they did that.
Yeah, it's like I actually read about this recently, that it was actually Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher doing that scene. They actually had them swing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they they work with the stunt people, but they actually explained to them that this is not bad, you can do this, this is easy, you can do this, when it was actually very scary. But they did manage, the two actors did manage to just fly themselves across to the other side, and it worked out great.
Wow, I did not know that. That's a fun fact I did not know. I thought they would get stunt doubles or something for that.
Yeah,
I thought they were stunt doubles.
Yeah, no stunt doubles for that one. And then it also reminds you of, I don't know if you ever saw, those Errol Flynn movies like Robin Hood, or the Swashbuckler. They're always swinging on to something, swinging on to the other side to escape.
I've seen those movies as well.
Yes.
I'm a big movie buff, so I've seen a lot of movies.
Yes, you are. Exactly. Yes, you're right.
I also really like, this is from the Empire Strikes. I can't even talk today. Sorry, people. This is from Empire Strikes Back, when they're getting back from the Millennium Falcon, when Han is trying to get back onto the Millennium Falcon, and Princess Leia goes, "Should I push?" when they're still on getting away from the stormtroopers.
Right. Yeah.
And I just like the part when she goes, "Should I push?" and Han says it might help, and then she's like this bucket of bolts isn't gonna get us anywhere, and off the pad or whatever, and he goes, this baby still has a few surprises left, sweetheart. And I just love that line. It's one of my favorite lines in the movie. So I was like, that's what has to be in my top 5, because it's one of my favorite parts. It just cracks me up every time I see it. Just crack up laughing.
I love that part. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. So then I go. So this is 3?
Yes.
So this is my my 3rd. Okay. Number 3 is from Return of the Jedi. This is, I would say, one of my favorite scenes with Luke. This is when he's captured by Jabba the Hutt, and his people. They're taken to the sail barge, and they're driving to stand over the Sarlacc pit.
That's
right.
That's one of my favorite scenes too.
Slowly digested for thousands of years or 1,000 years, and Luke is standing at the edge of the plank, and we don't know what's going to happen. He gives a salute to R2, and then you just see something pop out of R2's helmet, and then Luke does the flip. He catches the plank, and he does the flip, and you see something flying overhead. You don't know what it is exactly, and then when Luke catches it, and he ignites a green lightsaber. Oh my God, that was so awesome! It's I've told this story before that Return of the Jedi. When I went to see that movie, it was as if I saw it yesterday. I remember it so well, and how excited I was to see that scene, because that was the first time that we as an audience cheered on something that happened on the screen, because The Empire Strikes Back, there wasn't really much to cheer about, because the bad guy was actually winning in the second movie. But then to see Luke come back as this Jedi, and he's in this full gear, and he's in his Jedi mode, and he's unstoppable. I just love that moment. So that's my number 3.
I like that one. That's a good scene. It's one of my favorites as well, and that's also in my top 5, because I wrote a list of all the different movies and all the scenes that I like, and that's also on my list too. It's one of my favorite scenes because it's something you've never seen in dramatic universe of like films and movies and stuff, and it's just so cool how they made that scene and everything.
Yeah, I love it every time I see it.
What about you, Keith? What's your third favorite one?
The asteroid field scene from The Empire Strikes Back.
Nice.
With the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
That's a good scene.
Trying to dodge the asteroids.
Yeah, that one's funny.
Do you remember the line that C-3PO said to Han? The possibility of navigating an asteroid field is approximately. I think it's 3,720 to 1, something like that. And
I was like, never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, that's such a funny scene. I laugh at that scene as well. It's such an iconic scene. Like, all these movies are very iconic. All the older ones, the original ones, are very iconic.
Yes.
As well. So on my podcast, and most podcasts, we do a Mount Rushmore in the middle of the thing. So you pick 4 of your favorite things. So it's going to be Star Wars related. So you pick 4 of your favorite. So what are your 4 favorite movies that you like? That's your Mount Rushmore.
4 favorite Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Okay. I can do that. So it's going to be The Empire Strikes Back. Actually, it's going to be the original trilogy. So you have The Empire Strikes Back 1. I would say Return of the Jedi 2. A New Hope 3, and the 4th one would be, I would say, The Force Awakens. Yes, those are my top 4.
Okay, so my top 4 is, I love The Empire Strikes Back. That's my favorite one out of the whole Star Wars trilogy.
I agree.
My second favorite one is A New Hope, because you get to learn about the whole Star Wars trilogy. Number 3 is, I really enjoy A Force Awakens, because you get to meet Rey and find out who she is. And then my 4th one is Return of the Jedi. I really just like that movie, and it's Luke conquering everybody, and he's becoming a Jedi Knight.
Yes, he did. That's
Do you have one, Keith?
I like that. Your top 4.
You can even say The Bad Batch if you want to, too. You can even say shows, too.
Yeah, right. It could be, you can include any Star Wars.
So in that case, it'd be The Clone Wars, and then A New Hope, and then The Bad Batch, and Rebels.
Okay, those are great ones. I'm actually just started watching Rebels. I haven't seen it yet, but I just started watching Rebels.
Yeah, I enjoy Rebels too. I love Rebels.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me know when where are you right now? Are you still in the first season?
I'm on season 2, I think.
Season 2. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I just started watching the series like about a month or 2 ago, and I binge watched all the Clone Wars, and now I'm on to Rebels, and then the other one with Rey, I think, is the new one.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, the new one. The other one I forget. Hold on.
The TV show or the movie?
The TV show. I forget what the other one is. Let me look. Hold on. I have Disney Plus on my phone, so I could look it up real quick. What is it called?
Is that Forces of Destiny? Maybe.
That's old.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
2017.
Let me see.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me see. What is it? It is. Oh wait, I did see Rebels, so I'm watching Resistance. That's what it is. Resistance.
Oh, you like that show?
Yeah, actually, that's gotta be somewhere on my list.
Yeah. You forgot.
So yeah. So I watched Rebels. So I've watched Clone Wars and I watched Rebels. Now I'm on Resistance. That's what it is.
Star Wars Resistance. Yeah, there's only 2 seasons of Star Wars Resistance, right?
Yeah.
And you saw every episode, right? Do you recommend it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
That's good.
And who's your favorite character in Resistance?
Kaz.
Kaz.
Because he's funny.
Yeah.
And he's always doing something that's silly.
Yeah. He's inexperienced, so sometimes he's in over his head. He gets into a lot of things, lots of trouble.
Like, what?
Yeah, right.
But something.
Yeah, but that's Keith's a fan of that show, definitely.
So Keith, when I get done watching that, I will have to message your dad, and we could talk about it sometime if you want.
That nice going, Katie. Oh, look at that! You got a big smile on his face.
How does that sound? And we'll talk about it, and maybe we could do another podcast on that show if you like.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, there we go.
He's so happy. That's what I do best. I like making kids happy.
Oh, you do. Thank you very much.
You know what else makes me happy? Candy.
What?
Candy.
Hold on, wait. What's your favorite candy, Keith?
Skittles, no doubt. Wild berry.
Okay, maybe I'll send you some. For being on the podcast, I'll send you some Skittles.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, Katie.
What kind of Skittles do you like? Do you like the original kind?
Wild berry, or like tropical.
Okay, I'll send you some. Mm-hmm. For being on the podcast, I'll send you guys some.
Wow. Aren't you special?
and I'll also send you a little present too, Kerwin.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's not necessary, but thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll send the whole family a little something too.
Oh, look at that.
Even my mom and my brother?
Yeah, even your brother.
Oh. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Kate. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's wonderful.
So back to what we were doing, our top favorite. Sorry for the side channel.
No, that was fun. That was fun. Yeah. So we're at number 2 now, I think, right?
Yes.
2? Okay.
Yes, we're at number 2. So my number 2 is the fight scene when they're in Hoth and they are fighting the ATV like looking walker things.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And then there's tow cables to tie them up.
Yeah. They tie them. Yeah.
They fall.
And it just falls down on the snow. That's one of my favorite scenes.
I played that one in LSW, the complete saga.
What's LSW?
What is LS? Yeah, I don't.
Star Wars. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know what that is either. What is that?
All right, say it again. What it is? Lego Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Lego Star Wars app.
Mm-hmm.
The old one from 2005 with all the old characters.
So did they have a video? Was it a video game of Battle of Hoth?
It's an app. One of the levels was Battle of Hoth.
I see. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that they had a app for Star Wars video games.
There's 2. Mm-hmm. The new one is LSWTFA, which stands for Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, that's kind of old. The new one is actually the Skywalker Saga, which is all 9 movies packed into one.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I'm learning new stuff every day.
Video game console.
One video game, okay. And this is a game you could play on your phone, right?
Nope.
Oh,
On the
computer?
iPad?
Nope. Nope.
On the PlayStation?
Yes. Except I don't have one.
Yeah, but, right. So how did you play the game if you don't
I
have a
didn't.
play- Oh, okay. So you're just telling us.
He's just saying about it.
I got you. I thought you played the battle. Oh, okay. So Katie, what he's doing, that's his way of telling me he wants a PlayStation. So
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
yeah, that's his way of telling me that. Okay, we'll see.
How would you know that?
You just said, well, you know the game, but it's on PlayStation. You don't have PlayStation, so that's telling me you want a PlayStation. Yeah, right. You gave yourself away.
Well, if you get a PlayStation, I'll play with you.
Pretty cool. All right. So now it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, number 2 is actually Keith's number 5 from Return of the Jedi, the final confrontation between Luke and Vader.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, I could spend all day talking about that scene, but I'm not going to take up your time.
Oh, you can. I have all the time in the world.
But just the plot in regards to the Emperor trying to turn Luke to the dark side, and Luke's agenda is to turn his father to the good side, and the Emperor's plan is to just pit father and son against each other and see who's going to win. That to me is what it was about. And how it played out was fantastic. And the scene that I liked the best was when Luke was trying to hide from his dad. He doesn't want to fight him.
Right.
And Vader read his thoughts and realized that Luke had a twin sister. And when Vader said, if you won't turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will. And Luke just got angry
And he yelled,
and just
never!
right, and he just went after Vader, and just the moment where the two of them, you see the clashing of the lightsabers, the colors, the green and the red.
And the music.
The music is fantastic. It's tragic. The cinematography is beautiful. I just love that shot. Every time it comes on, well, I don't have to wait till it comes on TV. I can just pull it up on the Disney Plus. That's the scene I run the most from that movie. I just love it. And then how it ends, Luke loses his head, and then he realizes, okay, well, I need to step back because I don't want the Emperor to win. So then, and the Emperor says, okay, well, take your place, take your father's place with me on the dark side. And Luke chooses not to do that. He turns off his lightsaber and he throws it away, and he says, I will never turn to the dark side. I am a Jedi like my father before me. That's fantastic. That's Luke Skywalker.
Of course, we get shocked with Force Lightning.
Yeah, and then there's Force Lightning, and then take care of that.
And then he finds out, and then Darth Vader and masks and everything.
Yes,
that's such a great scene.
Yes,
it's one of my favorite scenes as well.
Yes.
Now,
number 2. Yes.
Second scene. That scene when Yoda was going through Luke's stuff, and the Empire Strikes Back, and he just takes his stuff, and he eats Luke's dinner, and then he got into a tug of war with the lamp he took from Luke. And he gets into a tug of war with R2-D2.
Yeah, that's a funny scene. It's one of my favorite scenes too.
That was a good one. That was Yoda's introduction. Yeah, that was cool.
I like how in that part of the movie where Luke's just like looking for Master Yoda, and Yoda's standing right there the whole time, and and he's like where is this Master Jedi I'm supposed to meet? Where is he? And he's right there in front of his face the whole time. It's so funny.
He has no idea that the little green guy in front of him is the Master Yoda.
Exactly.
Yes, it's one of my favorite. So this is one of my favorite scenes. Is the speed biking chase. This is my number 1 because we've never seen anything like this, and the whole like cinematic universe of like movies and stuff like that.
Speed bike chase?
And, yes, the speed bike chase is one of my favorite scenes. It's my number 1 just because it's so cool how they did it and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that was mine too.
How about that?
Yours too?
Oh, look at that. So we matched. The speeder bike chase, right?
Yeah, what was yours?
From Return of the Jedi. Well, let Katie finish. Go ahead, Katie.
And I just like that scene just because of how the cinematography is in that scene, and just how George Lucas's imagination came about, and that whole like scene, like, okay, we're gonna do a fight on a motorbike. Like, who would have thought of that?
Exactly. That was really cool. I know I read somewhere that George Lucas was into fast cars, so he liked creating machines or models or vehicles that were fast. And I'm with you. When I saw the speeder bikes for the first time, I loved the speeder bikes. I still love the speeder bikes. I'm so glad the Mandalorian brought them back, and
Me too.
Rebels as well. So I will never get tired of seeing a speeder bike chase.
And
I love it.
Anytime I'm at Hollywood Studios and Disney World, I always go take a picture on the speeder bike that's right next to Star Tours.
Nice.
Speeder bike?
Yeah. How about that?
Yep, it's been there even before Galaxy's Edge was made. It was even there before Galaxy's Edge was made. Before it was there when Star Tours just first started out. Maybe even before that.
Can you drive it?
What?
Can you drive the speeder bike?
Can you get on the speeder bike?
You can get on the speeder bike and take a picture. It doesn't go anywhere. It just stays. I'll have to send you guys a picture of it.
Please
so
do.
It's like stuck to the ground.
Yes, it's stuck to the ground. Like when you go to the playground, those like things that are stuck to the ground, it's like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you live in Florida, is that correct?
Right. I live in Florida. I live from Orlando. I live about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive from Orlando.
Oh, okay. And how often do you go to Disney World?
I go when I can. Just right now with everything, I haven't been back in like about 2 years just because of the whole COVID thing, and I just don't want to be around crowds because I don't want to get COVID and just Have you guys been to Walt Disney World?
Nope.
I have not been to Disney World since the 90s, if you could.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I have not taken my family.
You never told me that.
Yeah, it's been a long time, yeah. So I have not taken my family, but I look forward to the day, And then, once we do, I'll probably contact you. Maybe you can give us some ideas as to what to see, where to go.
Yeah, I will, definitely. And you guys are going to love Galaxy's Edge. And they're also building a hotel on Galaxy's Edge. I don't know if you guys read about that or heard about that. They're building a hotel on Galaxy's Edge, and a hotel where you can stay and you can basically be in the Star Wars realm the whole time you're there.
Oh, okay.
What are they building?
A hotel. It should be opening soon. I'm not sure, but I'll let you guys know when it opens.
Wow.
And Galaxy's Edge is really cool because they have the Rise of Resistance, the Millennium Falcon ride, and you can be you can pilot it, and you can also make it be there's a code where you can make it be Chewbacca, which is really cool. And then there's a co-pilot, and then there's 2 shooters. So that's really cool. And then Rise of Resistance is the ride with Kylo Ren, and that's really cool too.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
And they also have, like, when you go in the Star Wars world, they have their own like language, and you can interact with the characters when you're in that world and everything.
Nice.
And you can get a Ronto wrap at one of the restaurants there, and it's basically like a pita with like a sausage and like coleslaw, and they call it a Ronto wrap.
Okay. Nice. I know, Disney World is, I'm not going to recognize it when I get there because, like I said, I haven't been there in so many years, but I look forward to bringing my family.
Yeah, they made this world called Bar 2. That's the name of the world that you're in when you go to Galaxy's Edge.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah. It's really cool to be like in that like world, and you also can get like little Cokes, and they're like look like you can't take them on the airplane, so if you would take it on your check luggage. And they look like they're really cool, and they're like little bottles like that. I'll have to send you guys a picture of it.
Please do, yeah, please do. And they also have a place there where they make lightsabers. Can you also make a lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge?
You get to keep it?
Yep, you get to keep it. You can either bring it home with you in your, like when you go on the plane, You just have it in your seat with you, or you can have them mail it to your house. It's a little more expensive. I have the purple lightsaber.
Purple.
I'm making 2.
You're
gonna make 2? They're like $300.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay for it?
Yeah, well, you have to pay for
And
it.
you can also build droids, too. You can build a droid, too.
How much is the droids?
I think they're about $200 to build.
Okay.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Yes. I wouldn't lie to you.
Well, let me tell you something. Keith doesn't know this, but going to Disney World is expensive.
Yeah.
It is expensive. It's
So
fun.
it's like $1,000 for both plane and Disney World.
Well, I mean,
how does it cost that much?
because it just costs.
Yeah.
How do we even get to Disney World?
You'd have to take a plane or drive.
Yes. Don't worry, Keith. Don't worry. When we're ready, we know how to get there.
Isn't it like 5 hours from here?
Well, if you're flying, it's about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. If you're flying, we live in Pennsylvania, so from Pennsylvania to Florida on a direct flight, no more than 3 hours.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so. And then if you were to drive, it'd be like 10 hours, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably more than that. Yeah, because we've driven from here to
North Carolina.
Right? That's about 13 hours.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so it's a long drive. I prefer to fly.
Florida is further than North Carolina
That is correct. Yes.
It's all the way at the bottom of the United States.
That's correct. Yes, it is.
Yes. You're very smart.
Yes. Don't worry about it.
I'm surprised.
No, not to be surprised. Don't worry.
I didn't think a lightsaber would cost $300.
Hey, Keith, you know what?
You should just get the blade builders or something.
That's all right.
They're easier.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's something that parents have to deal with. You don't have to worry about it. You're not spending any money. So.
Exactly. But it's fun though. You can also just go in there and just build one, and they'll just let you build one, and you don't have to buy it. You can just see how they do it.
That's cool. But you want to take it home, of course. Right?
You know me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know you. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So what was your number one, Keith? What was yours? Was the speeder bike, right?
Yep.
Okay. So talk about the speeder bike. Same thing, right?
And what was your?
It was exciting, and the sound effects were great.
Yes.
And watching the speeder was also really fun.
Yes, that's a very good point. I love the sound of a speeder bike. Absolutely.
Me too.
All right. Well, I guess that leaves me.
What was your number one?
All right. My number one is from The Empire Strikes Back. And it's the only scene I would say, well, not the only scene, one of the scenes that makes me very emotional when I watch it. And it is the conversation that Luke and Yoda have on Dagobah when Luke is trying to raise the X-Wing out of the swamp. And he says he can't do it, it's too hard. And, Yoda just, schools him, meaning that, he tells him, okay, well, it's not hard. It's the Force. I believe in the Force.
Right.
The Force is with me. The Force is all around. It's everywhere. So it's really like a matter of mind, to lift that ship. And if you want to know how to lift, if you want to lift it, you can. If you feel that, if you have the
ability?
Well, not the ability, but if you feel that you can't lift it, then you're not going to. But you have to believe you can lift it, right? Using the Force.
Right.
And Luke needed to understand that. He didn't at the time. And he says, you asked the impossible. And then when he walks away and then, R2 notifies him and he turns around and he sees the X-Wing rising up out of the swamp. To me, it's like watching a miracle happen. When I saw it for the first time, when I see it now, as I get older, there's a lesson to be learned about, believing in yourself, and not, there's always self-doubt, of course, but,
right.
But you just have to understand that, things don't come easy, for you, and that if it's something that you really want to accomplish, that you can do it. And that's the lesson that I learned from that. And when, the lands and Luke comes over to Yoda and says, I don't believe it. And then Yoda says, that is why you failed. because he didn't believe in himself. He didn't believe he can do it. So to me, that's a lesson for people, something I can teach myself and teach my child about believing in yourself, believing what your abilities are, and using your abilities to your potential. So that's my number one.
I also like the Star Wars universe as well, is because each of the characters know who they are, and we all should be uniquely ourselves. Because if you try to be something you're not, that's what I like about the Star Wars universe, is they just try to be themselves and not something they're not. It's good versus evil. That's why I also like it, because we all have good in us. It's just if we listen to the good.
Absolutely.
Versus the bad part.
That's right. Exactly. As we're given choices to make, and it really depends on the choices that you make. Sometimes you make the wrong choices, but you can still redeem yourself. You can still do something good or make something good out of something.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything else you have to add, Keith?
Nope.
No. Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Katie, for Popping the Popcorn, and I'm here with Keith and Kerwin from a Father and Son podcast. Where can people find you guys?
We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, and we're also on YouTube.
We also have a Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram page.
That's correct.
You can find us at Father Son Galaxy on all those places.
All those platforms, yes, thank you. So we're on audio and video.
Yep.
Awesome. And you guys know where to find me on. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Popping the Popcorn. And I hope you guys have a great evening. And thank you for joining us. Have a great night, everybody.
Yes. Thank you once again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.